Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video. Hope everyone's well wherever you are. And I hope some people out there will enjoy this video. As ever, I would love to hear your views and thoughts, especially people from the neurodiverse community. For those who don't know, neurodiverse means people with dyslexia, A.D.H.D, autism, dyspraxia, or conditions like that. So neuro, as I mentioned in my last video, means like mind or brain, and diverse obviously means diverse, like as in different minds. So we have different minds to other people, and I myself, as far as aware, I think when I was younger I was diagnosed with being dyslexic, as dyslexic, with having dyslexia. But as I got older, I went to an occupational assessment to see what work might be best for me, and someone said, I think it seems like you have dyspraxia, which I didn't even know what that was. So anyway, so I'm not being officially diagnosed with dyspraxia, but I think when I was younger I was diagnosed with dyslexia before I even knew what that was. But anyway, there's a lot of organizations now, as I mentioned in my last video, like Made by Dyslexia, the Dyslexia Advantage, and others, excuse me, as well as I'm sure ones by organizations for people with ADHD and autism as well, which look at the positive sides, excuse me, and traits of such conditions, especially dyslexia and ADHD, in areas like business or even STEM, science, tech, engineering, and maths, and things like that. Not all neurodiverse people share the same weaknesses and strengths, but I think many of us have similar weaknesses and strengths. So they say quite a lot of entrepreneurs, business people, whatever you call them, are dyslexic or have ADHD or both, have either of those conditions or both. So anyway, I was wondering whether to do like a list video, as I often do, but I couldn't think of that many ideas. So I thought I'd just do just say whatever comes to my mind as much as I can. So I suppose I do try and keep my channel a bit different, just like I am a bit different, where I don't really edit my videos. So I hope to keep them live and hopefully uninterrupted. So I do them in a different style, which I hope some people out there will enjoy and appreciate, all being well. Yeah, when I make something, I don't like to edit that much. So that's one of my quirky sort of traits. I don't like to edit it at all even. But anyway, sorry, getting to the point, we're trying to. I would love to network with organizations like Made by Dyslexia, Dyslexic Advantage, and others that deal with neurodiverse conditions, and bring them all together like one sort of group that that can share ideas and network together, and hopefully write to or make videos like this, possibly more coherently, which will hopefully encourage businesses and investors, again, as I mentioned in my previous video, to invest in dyslexic entrepreneurs and again, ADHD or autistic talents or strengths. I know there are kind of already, like, I think it's M.I.5 and or M.I.6 in the UK, which specifically seeks to employ people, funny enough, with dyslexia and dyspraxia, although I'm not very good at tech myself, but who can solve problems and codes and things like that. So there are already organizations like Microsoft as well, and IBM. Well, I'm not sure about IBM, but Dell and probably one or two others, which are actively seeking to employ especially autistic people and do projects on neurodiversity, and supporting people with dyslexia, obviously, which makes sense because it's a potential marketing. There's a potential of their market also. So by supporting them, they help to obviously making things better for your customer is a sensible business move. Even I know that, I suppose. But yeah, so I hope to bring those individuals and organizations that are connected to neurodiversity. I'll kill my dog. I'm just kidding. So that they can write to and perhaps make videos like this, and find ways to communicate with potential investors like the Cascade investment, which is a company Bill Gates used to use is to invest. Berkshire Hathaway, which Warren Buffett uses to invest. Bridgewater, which Ray Dalio uses to invest, I believe, and like hedge funds like that and whatnot. Some of them are even run by dyslexic people who are much more successful than you would think, considering it's kind of a disabling condition in the academic or even working worlds or systems. But when we're in the areas where we're strong, like Richard Branson, a dyslexic billionaire, said, when we find where we are quite strong, areas where we have strengths in, we can excel in those sorts of fields or areas. So when we find what we're strong at. So basically, if I did it in a step-by-step process, I would hope to somehow connect together all possible individuals and organizations and associations and whatnot that are involved with dyslexia, A.D.H.D, and other forms of neurodiversity and autism, and so-called dyspraxia, bring them together, and then write to or find a way to communicate with potential investors as well as even governments. And as I mentioned in my previous video, I hope as part of that project to showcase what we can do from a biased point of view, or a bit more of a selfish point of view, Italian football, because I'd love for Italian football to be top again, and Celtic FC. But from a less selfish point of view, a more selfless point of view, what we can do for developing countries across Africa, Asia, and also colonized countries like Ireland, what I call the Six generally. So I'd love to support those communities and show what we can do and what dyslexic people, both inside and outside of those countries, so people in the West, like in UK or the rest of Europe or America, could do to mentor people either online or even going to travel to those countries and talk about what we can do to contribute. I think that's all I can think of at the moment, but I think that covers everything for now. But I'd love to hear what your thoughts as ever, especially if you've got neurodiverse conditions, or if you find this area quite interesting, if you've got family members who have dyslexia or A.D.H.D or whatnot, or you'd like to find out more, ask questions or whatever, or you find it quite interesting. I find it quite ironic that like so many people think that the academic system is the be end and all. Like if you're an A-star student, you'll do much better and things like that. Sometimes that's true, of course, but I think it's quite interesting that a lot of times students who are C students, or even worse perhaps, at the bottom of the class might still do well. And one of the things I was thinking is like investing in each other and supporting each other. So like I'd love to build a connection, network, community online of people from neurodiverse backgrounds, and where we support each other, not just by talking to each other on Facebook, but by like subscribing to and just generally supporting each other's YouTube and other social media content and accounts and things like that. Anyway, I am out. Peace and love.